What's up, guys? Vince Reddy here. And listen, I'm not going to be one of those channels to do a retrospect or analysis of whatever game I play at all, especially when it comes to older games, the classics, and pretty much just reliving those childhoods because, my introduction to emulation. But yeah, I finished Jack and Daxter, the precursor of Legacy, which at the time I did not know. I thought it was just called Jack 1. I'm not sure if that's in like abroad, like we have Jack 1 and 2, but I did not know there was like they it had another name, the Precursor Legacy. I thought it was just called Jack and Daxter. But as I was trying to find the game, yeah, I guess the Precursor Legacy, because when I try to type Jack, it goes into different like bootlegs or something like that. But the actual title, I guess, not from what I remember, is the Precursor Legacy, which is interesting because knowing that it did have like a extended name for the whole time, for all my life, especially like because I haven't played Jack and Daxter, this Jack and Daxter, and I'm talking about the PS2, like back in like freaking 2000 or whatever. I don't know when it was released. I haven't played it since like '06 or something. So yeah, pretty much this is just something that is a shock to me. I get to learn Jack and Daxter's long title name, I guess, and reliving this game itself was so beautiful, which is a fresh air of just like seeing the green and the all the colors merge. And pretty much the emulation wasn't that good, knowing that it had like a shadow back problem, and I was trying to find different versions to actually get a better update. But yeah, it was an experience. If anything, I would replay it again. I would rewatch or replay the Jack and Daxter, and this game is just so worth the nostalgia and just the moments of reliving those memories when I first played Jack and Daxter. And pretty much it wasn't really something that I was crazy about. One of the last Jack and Daxter games was Jack and Daxter 1 and 2, the Precursor Legacy and the Renegade. And those are the games that, I played last, and I never finished one of them. And for the first time ever, especially reliving these games, like, Sly Cooper and also Ratchet and Clank, I get to finish these games in a much more appropriate way. And for me, I really enjoyed how, especially how smooth and linear this game can be. But also, a lot of times when it comes down to these kind of videos, when reviewing video games, is talking about the world. Because a lot of times that's what I go for, is escape. And this game, like, especially seeing how everything is not, there's no loading times at all. I just go into different worlds and I'm just immersed into whatever place I'm in, but also stuff that I'd never seen before, and actually, especially in the end of the game. And for this, particular in moments of the, when I was playing Jack and Daxter, I enjoyed really getting all the precursors. I'm a collectathon kind of individual, so I'll be collecting stuff and, collecting precursors, every single one. One thing I made a mistake when checking out reviews for this game is that I didn't really go to every level. I feel like you don't need to go to every level to finish the game. One thing's for sure, like, I don't know if this is a spoiler. It doesn't need to be because this game is that old, it's just spoiling it, whatever, But the end of the game, when it was showing you the machines and the different paths of like this machinery, like you're trying to, break this machine because they stole Stamos and like or kidnap him, because that's like the grandpa character. At first I thought it was the father of Jack, but not really. But Stamos was in this like room that was kind of like busted, this landscape, or not landscape, but basically where all the dark eco is centered in. And pretty much what the story is about, and I could have really put the story out there. I mean, the whole objective is to actually Daxter to be human again, because Daxter was human when we were first introduced to Jack and Daxter. They were going to this Misty Island, the Mystery Island, called Misty Island or Mystery Island, I don't know. But they went there. He slipped into Daxter slipped into some dark eco, turned into a furry, little furry character, and right now it's kind of like just a whole adventure just to get him back, but also just like repairing the city. Every inch of this game makes sense. There's a lot of sense of like doing stuff, compared to Super Mario, where you're doing missions because you're just doing missions. And a lot of times now thinking about it, when it comes down to Super Mario, I think the reason why I'm not so attached to it, because a lot of it just doesn't really make sense to me. A lot of times, like, why is Mario in space? I don't know. I don't know, Mario Galaxy. Okay, maybe in Mario Sunshine it sort of makes sense. Like, he's trying to stop the villain that made a mess in the freaking village when everything is covered in oozy ooze. But for Jack and Dexter, a lot of it makes sense. A lot of reasons, like, this person winning the election, this person trying to find inspiration for its muse or pet, and this other person like losing to a battle of this gladiator and wants to actually fulfill himself, but I don't know what happened after that. These different characters are just living, and you kind of understand different worlds surrounding each characters of, like, their situations a little bit more, but also fishing and getting something for them is fulfilling. Like, in every inch of this game is definitely worth actually just flowing through, especially for the cutscenes, how they're unskippable, which is not an issue to me because I really enjoy the cutscenes. A lot of this game, like, I just dig the world surrounding it. It's kind of like the same feeling when watching Tarzan or The Emperor's New Groove all over again. One of my favorite, Disney films. And it comes to games like this, I really enjoy the cutscenes, and there's some stuff that I never seen before because I never finished the game all the way through. Especially when it comes to the ends of the game, it was surprisingly easy, at least for me, knowing that I have save state, and load state, all that. But when replaying some of these levels and boss battles and stuff, it was, of course, a breeze, but it was very creative. This game has a lot of creative instances and goals and stuff like that. And I really can't put everything into perspective or in dialogue, from my reviews or something, not really reviews, but these are just my thoughts. Playing it for yourself really brings out a little bit more because it's something different compared to other games. It's not a really arcade game. It's a very like adventurous, a detour of nostalgia to me, of just like understanding the world where Jack and Daxter came from. And thank goodness it starts from there because a lot of the other games, from what I noticed when it comes down to Jack Daxter series, I don't know about Daxter because here's the thing: I only play two. The switch up between like Jack 1 and 2, I just keep noticing this like dark versus like light. And Jack's Daxter is a very light greenage with colors and also fantasies surrounding it in a way. But at the when I look at that, Jack 2, I just get that feeling of just like, dread and cyberpunkish, or at least it tries to be. Not like cyberpunk, I'm talking about old school cyberpunkish, like, old school Blade Runner or something like that. And it sort of give me that vibe in a way. But I'm not talking about Jack 2. I'm talking about Jack and Daxter 1. And this was a banger. What I will say, I don't know if this is a spoiler. It shouldn't be. I shouldn't be afraid to freaking spoil a freaking like old, 21-year-old game. But when it comes down to the bonus level, and I saw the cutscene because I'm like, okay, getting all those precursors, nah, I'm good. Like, I have to delete the game knowing that there's a bunch of other games that I really want to play, and the bonus level was not worth it. Okay, the bonus like cut when you get all the precursors, all the collectibles, basically, was not worth it because it doesn't show you. And to give you a good perspective, if you don't want to see, like, type on YouTube Jack and Dexter the Precursor Legacy, bonus ending, whatever it is, the secret ending, quote unquote. It is definitely not worth it because you're basically introduced to like a big huge gate they open, and they don't show you what's inside the freaking gate. All those precursors are glowing. It opens the gate, and that's it. Literally just cuts the whole scene. I'm like, what? I collected all of those for nothing? I didn't, because I know for a fact that I had a feeling like, you know what, in this day and age, I can just type it on YouTube instead of wasting my time actually just, finding what's the secret. I did that with Spyro, so, doing it with this game, especially how old it is and how it's not really that visually nice because, of course, some of the visuals are dated, but at the same time, it's classic because it is an old school kind of PS2 game. Just wasn't worth it, okay? It wasn't worth getting all those precursors just to unlock some secret level that you're not gonna come back to. What the hell? But I dig the game, okay? I dig it. I dig nostalgia. That's all I can say about it. Okay, there's many worlds surrounding this, Jack and Daxter. Seeing the map of it was visualizing as well. I feel like there could have been more, especially surrounding what is the plan of Jack and Daxter? Can we get that deep? Maybe it could get that deep once we get to Jack 3, because that's a game I've been really wanting to check out, and I've been curious. And thank goodness it's on the PS2. So I'm really curious to see what is this Jack 3. Okay, no one spoiled me because I am definitely gonna check it for myself when I finish Jack 2. I feel like that could make more sense. But having Jack, especially something that I miss when it comes down to Jack 1 to Jack 2, is that for Jack as a character in this one, I love it more compared to Jack 2 because he's a mute and young and expiring, and you see a lot of energy, and you just imagine yourself like, man, during these times when people like in their 20s, back in, because I definitely wasn't 20 when this game was released. I was like a freaking fetus playing video games. But I can just imagine like how much energy they had, how much ambition, and I felt that. I felt that through Jack when seeing this game, and man, those memories. Those memories made me actually think about all these characters like Cooper, Crash, like shoot, even Ratchet and Clank. They're probably in their 20s during this time. And they probably never aged because they're fictional characters. But at the same time, it made me think. It really made me think about more about Jack and Daxter. The more I think about this game, the more of so much how it's a banger. And I just feel like playing this itself, it's just good enough. It's just good enough. You know what I mean? Other than that, that's just my talk about my thoughts about Jack and Daxter. If you grew up with this game, tell me your memories and everything like that. I'm just sharing my thoughts. Who the am I? I'm out. One love. Peace.